Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. By now, you're all well aware of the red zone struggles that this Saints offense has undergone. Well aware of them. And I could give you 20 stats. Not going to do it. I'll give you 3. And we'll just kind of leave it at that. You've watched. They stink in the red zone. You know it. They were 0 of 5 on touchdowns against Atlanta. You're well aware of that. They're 10 of their last 24 over the last 6 games in terms of scoring touchdowns. That's 42%. That stinks. And they're 42% for the season. That's 4th worst in the National Football League. The Saints have moved the ball okay. They have not punched it in the red zone. They're terrible at it, and that's the most important thing you can do. Unless you're going to throw a lot of 40-yard touchdown passes, which they don't, you need to get in the red zone, win the field shrinks, execute, use the ground game, find tight windows, make throws, make catches, and score touchdowns, and the Saints don't do it. We know that. There are tons of stats. You're aware of them. The point is, they stink at it, and here's what Derek Carr, when asked about the struggles in the red zone and what they need to do better, here's the answer he gave you yesterday.
I said that we're working on the answers. That's what we've been doing. And so I appreciate, everyone wanting to have us to just say everything we've been feeling and say everything that we've seen on tape and say all the coaching points and all those things, but I'll never do that. And so I know it's just on me to keep doing it. And for, whoever they want to point at, please point at me because I can handle it.
And he continued with a few other bites, saying that you can ask Pete, you can ask DA, but I'm not going to tell you any of those answers. And I saw the backlash on Twitter. We talked to Luke Johnson about it in the last hour, and I saw fans, I saw other media folks, I had friends send text messages saying, who is this guy? Give us answers. Hate Derek Carr. This guy stinks. What is that answer? What is he talking about? Pathetic, all this kind of stuff. And I understand where Saints fans are coming from because they're frustrated and they're losing. And Derek Carr says, I'm not going to give you the answers as to what we're trying to work on and trying to do. Now, let me point you in this Baton Rouge market to 2 examples of people not answering questions. Kim Mulkey is asked about Angel Reese and what's going on with Angel Reese. And she said, basically, I'm not going to tell you. And I didn't see any LSU fans bashing her or running to defend Glenn Guilbeau. Instead, everyone bashed Glenn Guilbeau and said, you don't need to know anything. Oh, Kim Mulkey owned Glenn Guilbeau. Boom. Jay Johnson, LSU head baseball coach. Who's going to be your starting pitcher? I'm not going to answer that question the entire postseason, so don't ask. We're not going to talk about injuries. Don't ask. I didn't see anybody jumping down Jay Johnson's throat. We deserve to know who the pitcher is. Come on, this coach doesn't get it. He doesn't understand what he's doing here. No, everyone backs Jay Johnson wholeheartedly. Everyone backs Kim Mulkey wholeheartedly. They don't answer questions, and you don't care. Derek Carr doesn't answer a question. You go nuts. Why? Because the Saints are losing and those 2 are winning. Here's my opinion. Derek Carr is under no obligation, in my opinion, to stand in front of a microphone and say, we're not executing at all in the red zone, and here's how we're going to fix it. We're going to get Kamara involved in the passing game. We're going to work on angle routes. We're going to get him the ball on some option routes. We're going to get Taysom Hill more involved than he has been. We're going to run downhill. We really feel like that we've got some athleticism at guard. We're going to do some more pulling action, especially to the left, and try to get to the perimeter. And we really feel like Jimmy Graham's a guy we can utilize, and we can throw him some balls and jump balls. Why would you do that? What good does it say to tell you what you're working on? And if all you're just asking for is for Derek Carr to say, yeah, we're not doing well enough, I got to do a better job, what does that do anyway? Derek Carr's obligation is to go out there and score some freaking touchdowns. It's not to stand there on Wednesday and defend his honor or the play on the field. Again, this has been my point time and time and time again, and I'm just not going to come off of it. I don't care what you say in a press conference. I care what a senator says in a press conference when funds have been embezzled illegally and the tax dollars that were supposed to go to one place are not. Whether or not the Saints can complete a fade route is not really something I need an answer to in a press conference. It's a football game. Go win. Then no one cares what you say. So I saw all the outrage, and I fully appreciate the outrage with the performance and the product and the state of the organization. That deserves outrage because it's really bad right now when you look at it from the outside looking in. But the last thing that I'm going to get up in arms about is Derek Carr saying, yeah, I'm not going to answer that. It's not a court of law. He's not under oath. He knows they're not good enough. They didn't score a touchdown last week, and the division was on the line. You don't think he knows that? Of course he does. And I get why a lot of Saints fans look at his contract and what that does to the future in the near of this organization, and they're ticked about it because they don't think that's the guy who ought to be making $100 million based on the way he's playing. Gotcha.
Okay, but do you not agree that the way he's handled this makes him look worse?
It could be better, but then again, does everybody going to be happy if they ask him the question and Derek Carr says, "Look, I've played very poorly and I've got to do a better job. We're going to practice every day and we're doing the best we can and we're going to try to go out there against a really good Detroit team and figure it out." Like, I get that you didn't love the answer of like, "Yeah, I'm not going to answer that," but neither answer carries any weight, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe, but I do think that maybe if he does give a more not reasonable answer, but if he gives a more honest answer, I guess, I think maybe that would earn him a little bit less, hate or less people. I don't think anyone would be talking about the quote if he actually gave an answer. I think people are talking about the quote because he said,
so,
he's not going to give an answer.
This is a two-part question for me. What would be a palatable answer? Like, okay, that was a good answer. Like, what could he say? In general terms. I'm not asking you to nail it like you're in a Shakespearean play here, but like, what's a reasonable thing or two for him to say that you think the fan base would have been like, okay?
I think he could have at least in terms of accepting, and whenever they asked him about if he gave himself a grade or whatever, like, you don't have to say, "I'll give myself an F," but you could say, I obviously haven't. He's kind of defaulting to, "Oh, well, all 11 players have played better." He's right, but I think if he at least gives some kind of insight into, we're obviously really trying to work on this. We're spending a lot more time, which we did say, but he just not saying he's not going to tell the media anything, I think is just not going to look good on him. And
everyone agrees with you. So clearly that's the majority speaking. But I'm telling you, he could answer it to a T the way that you would like him it answered or the Saints fans would like it answered. And if you go out there against Detroit and get into the red zone 4 times and come away with 3 field goals and a missed 4th down, nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
Same thing with Kim Mulkey winning championships and not answering her questions. And Jay, you got a terrible relief pitching situation last year, and he's saying, "No, we're close. We're almost there." And everybody, including me, who hammered the panic button, being like, "Doesn't look close to me." But, hey, whatever. And all of a sudden you win a championship, and, like, no one cares if you're in a press conference. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.